I
That's how
always
you
say
felt. Yeah.
that out of these moments of despair, either we choose to become stronger and better and brighter.
Hello, this is Danny Ross from Human Connection. Today, I'm so happy and honored to have as a guest Meera Gandhi. Meera is an incredible woman. She's inspiring. She's beautiful. She's generous. She's the CEO of the Giving Back, what is it? Giving Back Foundation,
Correct.
and she's a human philanthropist. So right now, I'm going to introduce you to Meera. Hi, Meera. How are
Hello,
you?
Danny. Thank you so much for having me on your podcast. I'm so excited for us to speak together.
Yeah, and me, I'm very honored to have you, as a guest, and you took the time. I know you're a busy lady. So my first question would be, how would you like to present yourself?
I always think of myself as a humanist. I think of myself as that person who has the ability to elevate in every moment. I try to elevate through my energy. I try to elevate people, situations. And I pretty much know as I walk into a situation, whether it's an event, whether it's a store, whether it's a person's life, whether it's a conversation, that I'm able to elevate. And so that's how I kind of look at myself as sort of a humanist.
That you are. That's fantastic, because nowadays we really need people like you to elevate. Okay. Would you like to tell us about, your life, and what drove you to have this foundation first, and then I know you have fragrance, and then you booked about the tips, and it looks to you like peace, joyful, and happiness for you. It's a main important. So, what would you like to
It
say?
is. My journey actually started when I was very young. I always had a passion for service on some level. Outwardly, on a more concrete level, I used to work at Ashadan every Saturday, which was Mother Teresa's home for the abandoned children, handicapped, elderly people, women, men. So I worked there every Saturday, my last 2 years of high school. But I think service is really something that is ingrained in me, and I've always had leadership roles. I've always been, head girl of school, president of college. I mean, really leadership wherever I go. Even today, if I walk into an event, chances are I am dealing with the leadership. And I always think of leadership is being in a position where you're able to really serve and you're able to address people's needs and deliver on their needs. So that's where my journey of giving back really started. Obviously, I formalized it with the Giving Back Foundation in 2010. And that took me on a whirlwind journey. I was, doing projects all over the world. We were liaising with a lot of people and we had deep pockets. I mean, my ex-husband was doing very well on Wall Street. And so we gave generously to many causes. We got involved in a lot of causes and were able to shift a lot of things and make a lot of difference, which is exciting. I think now I'm doing it on a different scale. I also think that um, people have started, even especially in India, where philanthropy was not really a thing. People gave money to their temples and they gave to their children for education and they spent money on marriages. But now I think this idea of outwardly giving money to philanthropy is becoming big in India. So the mantle has sort of been passed on. Also in India, they've started a corporate social responsibility where you have to give 1.5% of your profits to some sort of corporate social uh, cause. So companies in India have become very aware and they are giving away a lot of money. So I think that has happened. I have evolved as a person. We're doing a lot more in the mental wellness space because I had no idea that people who could be so successful could also be so mentally challenged.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so we're doing stuff in that space. And that's sort of been my journey so far. I'm having fun. I believe you have to have fun. You have to be able to laugh at yourself. You have to laugh
Yes.
with others. And I think that in my own small way, I continue to take people on the journey. If I can uplift someone or help someone, or I don't know, I have some impact on someone's life, I like to do it. I like to do it in my own, in my
Yeah,
own way. So that's my
yes.
journey.
When I read a little bit your story, and I don't know if you'd like, I know you had a very epiphanic moment. It was in Hong Kong. Would you like
Yes.
to talk about it? Because that's what, we all have like sometime a wake up call. And
Yes.
for you would you like to talk about that?
I'm happy to talk about it. It was really what we would call a catatonic moment because everything on paper was going extremely well in my life. We had moved to Hong Kong, and we were first on the South China Morning Sea in this incredible townhouse with a glass bottom swimming pool, which was literally over the ocean. I mean,
Okay, so let's get back. Like
so
you in Hong Kong, and then you so high, lucky and happy in the place you are. Yes.
okay, so one particular day I was down in the mall at at Oceanside in the harbor, and I drove was driven home, and I walked up to my bedroom, which was on the fifth floor of this again amazing townhouse, and I looked down on the harbor, and I had this incredible moment of complete loneliness and despair when I just broke down crying, and I didn't know why. I was just crying for like I don't know, just for hours. And then it seemed like moments, but it was hours. And then I came downstairs for dinner, and my ex-husband had just come back, and I said to him, I said, there's got to be more to life. This feels like a very empty existence. So we started the Giving Back Foundation. I
That's
always
how you
say
start. Yeah.
that out of these moments of despair, either we choose to become stronger and better and brighter, or we choose to buckle down. Obviously, the choice is ours. So we started the Giving Back Foundation, and honestly, I've never looked back. It's a the journey of giving is joyful. The journey of uplifting, the journey of service to another human is joyful. It makes you feel good.
Yeah.
So I'm glad we did it, and it's definitely taking on an energy of its own. And that's sort of the moment where the Giving Back Foundation actually came to life.
Yeah, so I think in that we need a wake up call to find
Mhm.
our mission of life. Like to me was through after the cancer, lung
Right.
cancer. And as you say, you have two choice. Either you say, oh, poor me, victim, or you say, hey, there is something to understand. So, and you have talked to us a little bit about the fragrance do you
But
do?
wait, over here, I want to say something about you. The most powerful Greek mythology is about the phoenix that rose from the ashes. That bird, which was considered dead, that suddenly like shook off the ashes and then rose up, and then you are the epitome of rising from the ashes. And I find that to be such a powerful, powerful metaphor because I use that in my life all the time
Yeah,
to be like the phoenix that can rise through the dead ashes.
yeah, that's what you say, and it's cycle of life, and we need
Mhm,
to go through that. Otherwise, we don't evaluate. Of course,
mhm,
it's not fun when we are in the bottom, and because everything is impermanent. But when
mhm,
we are in like the bottom and sad, we think it's going to last forever. And no, it's not going to last forever. But we need courage, we need to connect, and we need to take our life in charge. And that's what we all have each our own way to do it. And what you do is
mhm,
fantastic. You rise up the vibration around you, you rise up your own vibration. And making people happy makes you so happy.
mhm,
So
mhm.
so yes, you do some fragrance. I think I want to order some. Where can I order some?
Well, right now we have the first set of bottles, which are really we're not selling them. We will start to sell hopefully by Thanksgiving. The fragrance is called Giving. We hope to launch it at Thanksgiving. It will be available on givingfragrance.com, which is the
Okay,
name of the website, givingfragrance.com.
we'll write it.
It will be also available through the Giving Back Foundation website. It will be available on Shopify, Amazon. So
Okay.
we're planning a very, very broad distribution of the fragrance and the candle. We'll probably launch with two products. the 100 ml fragrance, which will sell for 165, and the candle, which will sell for $60. And for $60, it's the best candle on the planet. So people
You
will.
need a mix of herb and flowers, no?
It's a mix of herb and flowers. It's got 28 ingredients. It's completely magical. And the the French juice company that made this for us, told me that this is one of the best fragrances they have ever created. And this is a fifth generation fragrance house. So be excited because I am so excited for these
Yes,
products.
fantastic. And that's again, it's to after when you sell it, it's to give back some of money to
Yes,
the
a
foundation.
proportion of the profits will go directly to Giving Back Foundation.
Fantastic. And now we're going to talk about your books because I read your books, the 3 tips
I
for
have it right here.
peace.
3 tips.
Yeah, and I tell you, I talked to all my friends about it, and I think it's like a Bible. You know, I read it twice, and I subtitled so many things. And it's like, so your books about the 3 tips, which is on work, on life, and on
Mhm.
self. So,
Mhm.
who gave you? How did you get this idea of writing this book?
Well, most people do the book first, and then after that, they probably do an Instagram series, then maybe a TV series. Mine was completely backwards. I was filming the Meera Gandhi show on B4U TV network, North America. And in the first episode, we had a coffee break. It was January, it was snowing in New York, in Brooklyn. So we took a coffee break and we were sitting in a coffee break, and I was just joking with some of my crew because the second cameraman actually came late and his assistant was late. So we were drinking coffee and I was like, hey guys, I'll give you 3 tips on arriving on time. Set your clock, look for traffics, be
Exactly.
punctual. So we were just joking. So then we started filming, and then the producer, she said, Mira, do you want to give tips on something? Give us 3 tips on the show. And I said, what should I, what 3 tips should I give you 3 tips about it? She's like, well, I'm going through a divorce. Just let's do 3 tips on love. So in the first episode, I gave 3 tips on love, where I talk about how love should be non-transactional, how love should be unconditional, and that how love should fill every aspect of your being. And I think after that, we did 3 tips on every show for the 13 episodes. And from there, it developed to a Times TV network project. We filmed it with Times TV. We aired a few, but then I took the project back because COVID happened.
Oh,
And
yeah.
then we launched it independently on Instagram. From there, we got a call from an Indian publishing house called Rupa Publishing, where they said that they had seen the 3 tips. People in their office were looking at it, and would I consider doing a book? So then I got a contract from this Indian publishing house to do 3 tips. It's here.
And
It's
that's
launching in Dubai on. It just got into the bookstores in Dubai. It's selling in Borders Dubai in 10 bookstores and Jashanmal bookstores. We will do a formal launch on May 31st. We are also taking the book to Turkey. We're doing something in collaboration with Hello Magazine Turkey on June 1st and 2nd in Istanbul on the Bosphorus. And so I think the project is taking wings
yeah,
because it's resonating with people.
it
But of
does.
course, I'm my worst critic. Yesterday, as I was preparing for my podcast series, which will be out, I was looking at my book and I was like, oh my God, the ideas have to be tighter and crisper. And, we are always our own worst critics.
Yes, of course.
So I think the next edition, which will be out with a North American book publisher, I think is going to be even stronger. And I think the podcast series that I'm working on now is really fantastic. I'm excited. We've already started filming it, and the thoughts are very succinct. It's a 4.5 minute podcast, and I hope your listeners will tune into it. It will
I
be on
hope so.
Apple and
I
Spotify.
hope so. I'll be your first listener, and I will. Yeah, because it's really interesting. And for example, there is one that I really subtitle, and I love it, and I never thought of it. Was for me was like, wow, this is so true. Chaos. Like we all go through chaos sometimes. Family, business, whatever, even traveling. And when you say chaos is nothing but a spiral of unfocused energy. This is so strong because it's true. I mean, when we ground it, when we in the present moment, we can get into chaos because we accept what it is. Eh?
Yes.
So
Also when we are grounded, and I've experienced this, so I can really talk about this. Also, when we are grounded, what happens is the mind is calm, and and a calm mind can find solutions to anything. But
exactly.
I've been there where my mind is so disturbed
Yes.
that I just don't see a solution in sight, and it's just a complete chaotic
Panic.
cacophony of
Yeah, and then we
thoughts.
get panic.
And I've been there. I've been
Yes.
there.
Oh,
And now at least I know, I can recognize when I'm going there, and I know how to pull myself back before it's too late. But that's why it was important for me to share that chapter with viewers, that when we just calm down and refocus our mind, which is basically what meditating is, what praying is, what taking a deep breath is, it all accomplishes the same thing. We're
yes.
able to just come back to equilibrium.
Yeah.
And in equilibrium, there is always an answer, there is always a solution to every problem. It's just how the planet's been created. That's
Yeah.
how we've been created.
Yeah. And it's to be aware. I mean, we're so lucky to have awareness because, as you say, the time when you can recognize it right away, you say, oh, I'm going there. No, I go back. It's not easy. And one thing I love too, we all know that, but to be in a non-attachment, to me, that's very, very, very strong. It's like, yes. And you took something, which was what? Because I
But
know,
wait, you brought up non-attachment. Like, let's
yes,
spend a moment on that. It's
okay,
extremely, extremely important.
yes,
And I think that um, I never really understood the meaning of non-attachment. But if we just look with a horizon, with a larger vision, that the minute we drop dead and we stop breathing, like everything falls away. I mean, everything. Our body, our muscles, our bones. I mean, forget about homes and belong. I mean, I like beautiful things, but I think I'm just not overly attached to them. Tomorrow, uh, if I wouldn't have them and I would have to get up and move somewhere and do something, I would be fine, because I know that all this is so impermanent. And I think it's wonderful to enjoy them, and karmic energy, our hard work gives us all this, but ownership has to be really understood. It's almost like things are just given to us on rent for a certain
yes,
amount of time.
as a rent, as you said, because it just go. And I think the non-attachment, like when you have kids, like I know you have, myself to have 3 boys, and I'm a grandma. And the detachment, the strongest one, is a lot with family. With when you see your kids growing big, and eventually it's detachment.
Mhm.
You have another detachment, the detachment of your used to as a woman. That's another one. and
Right.
and it's true. Me too. I used to live in beautiful house. Now I live, nice surrounded, but more simple. I never be so happy. Never, never, never.
No,
We
less is more. Less
Yeah,
is more.
definitely.
It's true.
So that's what's
But
good.
also there's this concept of uh, detaching from kids, detaching from the way. There's an explanation for this, which I actually heard from Krishnamurti many years ago. And he says that when we are centered within ourselves, and when we know we are whole within ourselves, that we can provide for ourselves emotionally, physically, in whatever way, it's much easier to detach, because you know you're not dependent on say your kids for emotional
Yes.
support,
Yeah.
or for something else, for another kind of support. So detachment really comes, it's very easy when you develop your own center and your own ability to be whole from within. I mean, we are born whole. I mean, this is not even a cliche. We are born whole. We come out of the womb alone into the planet. So once we are able to be whole within ourselves, it's not difficult. It's
I
really not.
know.
It just
It's a
is.
process, but it's a long, I mean, to me, it was a long process. And since I'm like this, And it's so funny because once you like this, you totally, when you change, people around you change. So since you're not so much in an attachment, it's like it's even a relief for them because they don't, and they are the one, trying to come back. But me, I was very mama, and I think I could protect them. No, they, after 30, whatever, we did our job, and even attachment with things or houses or whatever. I'm not attached, and that's why I said the least you are attached and you feel
The
liberated.
freer you are. Exactly. There's more freedom. Yes.
It's totally free. And because I read a lot about you, of course, and in your book, I think you talk about Sadhguru that you know well. And he said that the most beautiful moment is when you are expressing your joy, not when you are seeking it. That to me was, I think it's wrong. Either you enjoy, you enjoy, but the more you seek joy or the more you seek something, and you don't, you don't get it.
So
um
for our listeners, Danny has very kindly taken the quote from Sadhguru, which is on the cover of my new book, Three Tips, and Sadhguru's quote is at the bottom of my book. Danny,
yes,
thank you for sharing that.
yes,
And I'm also very privileged to say that Sadhguru wrote this quote for me himself. So I feel tremendously blessed that he took time out to actually craft it. And, this is the journey of life where we impact each other through our words, through
yes,
our action, through our kindness, through our support.
yes,
This is the journey.
yeah,
We're
this is the,
definitely not on this on our own.
yeah. So definitely, I mean, we could go on and on talking about your books and all the nice message and tips you give, and then encourage, our listeners to get the book and even to share it and give it to our friends and family. And now you're not going to escape to that. To all my guests at the end of the interview, I always ask, is there a message you would like to give, to say to our viewers?
Well, in conclusion, the message I would like to leave with our listeners and our viewers is basically my personal motto and the motto of the Giving Back Foundation, which is we are to the universe only as much as we give back to it. And if we think about our lives are only that important to another life based on what we're able to share with another life, what we're able to give to another life. Beyond that, honestly, people, institutions, people don't care. It's how we impact their lives. So when we think of the quote, we are to the universe only as much as we give back to it, we have to think about what we can give to others, what we can leave behind on the planet or on this journey, because it's going to finish very quickly. So we have to really walk every moment very intentionally and really try to serve everyone along the path in whatever way, a
Yeah,
kind word, a
yeah,
kind thought, a gesture, whatever it is, anything positive, it will be received in good faith.
yeah. And it's so easy, even a smile or even a nice hello, or, yeah, it really helps. Okay, Mira, so that was fantastic. I was really happy to have these words with you and for our listeners. And let us know. I want to buy your fragrance as soon as possible. Must be so good. And you're a great lady, very inspiring woman. So
Thank you, and your life inspires me. Thank you for doing this podcast and this audio show to inspire people. Have a blessed day and namaste. Thank you.
namaste. Thank you, Mira. Thank you.